Okay, so we're going to condense this down. This is day 1 of percents. So you've already got this note packet in class and we filled it out. So I'm just going to highlight a couple things. Parents, you should see this note packet. It should be filled out. If you don't, look in their binder. They were given this in class and we go over it in class. This is the notes to use with the homework. Okay, so we're gonna skip the warm-up. We're gonna get to just the, I understand a percent represents part out of 100. So let's go over here. I say 6%. What it really means is 6 out of 100. So when we look at this model here, there's 100 little squares, and we are counting 6 of them. 6 out of 100. 6 out of 100. This equals 6%. So let's say you have taken a test that's 100 questions. If you get 6%, you get 6 out of the 100. Okay? All right, that would be 6%. Now, could we reduce that and make an equivalent fraction? Sure. We could say if you had a 50 question test, you would get 3 out of 50, and that would be 6%. So that also can be looked at that way. On this one, we just are trying to figure out what percent is shaded. So if this is 100, 100's on the bottom, how many are shaded? Well, this is 10, that's 10, so that's 20, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 plus 20 is 32. Okay? So that's 32 out of 100, which equals 32%. Okay? All right. Now, when we look at that, so let's just look at this again. Let's take 90. I'm going to go to the white. 90%, and this is on the next page. If we take 90%, what would that be as a decimal? Well, this is 90 out of 100. Okay, 90 out of 100. And we know when we have a fraction, which this is also a fraction, 90 out of 100, we can divide this. A fraction is just an undone division. So we could divide it, and we could do dividing like this. And when we divide like that, we can use inside, outside. Which one goes inside the house and which one goes outside the house? The first one always goes inside. Okay? If this was 90 divided by 100 this way, the first one would go inside. If it's represented this way, the top one is the first one. So 90 divided by 100. Okay. Now we know that even if a decimal isn't seen, it's still there. Where is the decimal on this? Right here. So we're going to move that up right there. And we know that we can add zeros in front or behind, just not in the middle between. All right. So let's do this. 100, does it go into 9? No. 100, does it go into 90? No. 100, does it go into 900? Yes. 9 times 900. Okay? With 0 left over. So we are done. All right. So that is what 9%, 90% equals 0.9. Okay, 9/10. we would say that 9/10. Okay, so if we look at that, we know that when we multiply something, if we multiply something, we can just, if we multiply by 100, so we're just going to think through this a little bit. 90 times 100 is, we're going to add the zeros. So that's 9,000. And when we divide, we can go the other way. So 90 divided by 100, we can go the other way. And so instead of adding zeros, we're going to take away 2 zeros. Well, how do you take away 2 zeros? Well, you move the decimal point. So every number has a decimal point, even if it's not showing. We're going to move 1, 2. So that's 0.9. Okay, well, that's a lot easier than doing that. So let's explore that a little bit. So let's take 70%. We could do it the long way like this and put 70 inside and 100 outside, and we would have the decimal here, and we would go nope, nope, yep, 7.7. So we basically have moved the decimal over 1, 2. So instead of doing it longhand, long division, we're just going to do moving the decimal. So if it starts there, oops, I'm sorry, it starts there, we're going to move it 2 places for dividing by 100. 1, 2. Now make sure you're moving it to the left because we're dividing. So this would be 70% equals 0.7. So this is going from a percent to a decimal. Well, what about from a decimal to a percent? So what if we go from a decimal to a percent? So let's just make up a couple. Let's go 0.7. So that's our decimal. And what does it equal as a percent? So when we went the other way, when we went percent to a decimal, we went to the left. Now we're going to go to the right. Okay? So the decimal, we're going to go to the right. So we're going to go 1, 2. So we'll add a 0. So we'll go, it starts there, go 1, 2. So what it becomes is 70. So 70%. So 0.7 equals 70%. Okay, how about 1.2? What does that equal as a percent? Well, move the decimal over 2 places. 1, 2. So that is 1.2 whole percent. I'm sorry. Back the bus up. We started here. Now we have to move it. 1, 2. So now 1.2 as a decimal equals 120%. The price went up 120%. Okay. So let's see. Let's do a weird one. 0.023. What would that equal as a percent? Well, just move the decimal over. 1, 2. 2.3%. So where you're going to get confused is which way we go with the moving the decimal. So if you're going to the left, you're going from percent to decimal. So it's getting smaller. If we're going to go the other way, it's decimal to percent. Okay? And what is the 2.3% equal? It also equals 2.3 over 100. So out of 100 questions, they got 2.3 right. Okay, so you should be able to do the homework now. So go ahead and take a look at it. Let me just see if there's anything on this page. This is the second note sheet. So this is pretty easy. We're going to go a decimal to a percent. So which one is that? That's going this way. So 0.08, move over 1, 2, is 8%. Okay? And if we were going from 8% to a decimal, we would go the other way. So we would go 1, 2. So that would equal 0.08. So it's whichever way you're going.